Vanessa's point of view.
Before we could finish the spell, a violent surge of energy burst from her, flinging both of us across the room. We hovered mid-air, stunned by the sheer force of it. What in the world was that? My sister Vivian gasped. I stared at her, heart pounding. I knew exactly what it was. I saw it in Katrina's eyes, something ancient, something awakened. If I saw it, Vivian did too. What happened? Alpha Jaden asked, his voice sharp. Before we could answer, Katrina began to convulse. Her eyes rolled back until only the whites remained. Panic erupted in the room. What's wrong with her? What did you two do? Alpha Jaden demanded, his voice rising in fury. And then it came. A voice deep and thunderous echoing from within Katrina. Her lips never moved, yet the sound filled the air, speaking in a language none of us recognized. We all froze, terror gripping our chests. That's just Katrina. She's toying with us, Vivian said, brushing it off with forced calm. Let's continue the spell, she urged, but I grabbed her wrist before she could move. She looked at me coldly. What are you doing? She's too weak. We shouldn't do this right now, I said, gently trying to reason with her to protect her from herself. But her eyes hardened. She yanked her hand free, venom flashing in her gaze. If you can't do it, Vanessa, I will. I was going to forgive you and set you free, give you choices, but now... I'm already old, Vivian, I interrupted, my voice cracking. I don't need your forgiveness. I'm not heartless enough to hurt that innocent child. Before I could finish, a loud thud cracked through the room. We both spun around. I gasped, clamping my hand over my mouth. Alpha Jaden lay on the floor, unconscious. Without thinking, I rushed to him, kneeling at his side. I checked him over frantically, but there were no injuries. Nothing was visibly wrong. Was it exhaustion? He barely ate and rarely slept. He carried the weight of this pack alone, feeding and protecting us all while giving himself nothing in return. Oh, you poor thing, I murmured. Why won't you rest? What would we do without you? Where would we ever find another alpha like you? Tears stung my eyes. I called for help. The guys outside burst in, and I directed them to carry him upstairs. But he doesn't let anyone into his room, I realized too late. Only his beta and his mate had ever entered. Still, I ordered them to call his beta and take him to his quarters. I turned away. A piercing scream from Katrina cut through the air. Vivian, what did you do? I shouted, racing to her side. Blood soaked the floor. It's already done, my sister said coldly. Now my granddaughter has no competitor. What nonsense are you speaking, Vivian? I seethed, stepping toward her. I warned you, I said bitterly, and don't ever forget, you and I share the same mother. Hersey, Vivian turned to me with a smirk. And what are you going to do about it, my darling stepsister? She sneered. Should I be scared? Isn't this ominous? Yes, I replied quietly. It is. I called for help again, and we carried Katrina into the living room. Blood still oozed from her. I felt like my heart was being torn apart. She had already lost one twin. Now she was going to lose the second, and when she woke up, when she realized she was no longer pregnant, it would shatter her. As for Alpha Jaden, I didn't even want to imagine what would happen when he found out. Sandra arrived just as we got her to the couch. Oh Lord, what happened? She cried. Why is she bleeding so much? Girl, stop shouting, I barked, trying to stay calm. How can I stop when she's like this? She hissed, tears in her eyes. Ugh, what is that smell? It's disgusting, said Eliana, Vivian's granddaughter. The same rotten heart, I thought grimly. I shot her a warning glare. She shrugged with mock concern. Just saying the truth, step-grandma. I had to restrain myself from striking her with magic. Grandma, let's take her to the hospital, Sandra said, snapping me back to reality. We rushed Katrina to the hospital. Nurses took her inside immediately. After hours of waiting, the doctor finally approached. Doctor, how is she? Sandra asked breathlessly. Is the baby okay? The doctor looked grim. She lost the baby, he said. I closed my eyes in anguish. She'll be fine physically, but she needs rest, days of it. You may see her, but not for long. Thank you, Doctor, I said, bowing my head. She won't talk, he added gently. She's hurting deeply. She needs time. Don't push her. Just be there. Sandra nodded, sniffling. I left the hospital and returned to the pack house, emotionally drained. Just as I reached for the front door, it swung open. Alpha Jaden stood there, eyes wild with fury. Before I could speak, he grabbed me by the neck, lifting me effortlessly. What did you do to my mate, witch? He roared. Tell me before I kill you. I gasped, struggling. I whispered a spell, desperate. The moment it activated, he dropped me. I crashed to the floor, coughing violently. I'll explain everything when you've calmed down, I rasped, pushing myself up. As I turned to leave, his voice broke through the silence. Vanessa, I'm sorry, he said, his voice thick with guilt. I know you would never hurt me or her. I'm truly sorry. I gave him a faint nod and a tired smile before disappearing inside. It's been 4 days since it happened. Katrina was discharged this morning, still silent, still grieving. I visited her on the 6th floor. When she saw me, she turned away, eyes closed, her back to me. Forgive me, child, if I've caused you pain, I said softly. She said nothing, but as I turned to leave, I noticed the tears sliding down her face. My heart broke all over again. I left quietly, only to bump into Sandra in the hallway, carrying a hot bowl of rice porridge. I made my way to the 2nd floor, to Vivian's room. She rarely stayed in bed, but now she hadn't left it in days. Ever since this all happened. In our early years, something terrible had happened between us. Since then, she had hated me with a burning intensity, yet, despite everything, I still loved her. Vanessa, I don't want to see your face. Get out, she snapped. Vivian, we both know why you're sick, and we both know the cure, I said. You need to tell the truth. Ask for forgiveness. From Katrina and Alpha Jaden. If you don't, there will be consequences. I know you hate me, but do it for your granddaughter. I said out, she shouted. No need to yell, I said, stepping back. Just think about it. We may be different, but you're still my stepsister. I left the room, the house eerily quiet. It felt abandoned. I wandered down to the children's wing on the 1st floor. The moment I stepped into the playroom, they ran to me, arms outstretched. We missed you, Grandma, they cried. I missed you too, my babies, I smiled. We sang, danced, and told stories until I was exhausted. After leaving the playroom, I went to the kitchen for a glass of warm water. That's when I saw Alpha Jaden shift, right outside, and sprint into the woods. What is it now? I muttered. When will that man rest? I drank the water in one long gulp, then turned to leave only to see Sandra pacing frantically, biting her nails. What is it, child? I asked. Her eyes were wide, her breath shallow. Grandma, Katrina is gone.
Jaden's point of view.
When the three of us asked the voice that came through Katrina who they were, someone poked me in the chest, just one finger, and everything started to blur. My vision faded like fog crawling over glass. I could still see Vanessa and Vivian arguing, but I couldn't make out a single word they were saying. Their voices echoed like they were coming from the end of a long, deep tunnel. I fought to stay grounded, struggled not to fall. I blinked, trying to clear my vision, but before I could fully open my eyes, someone pressed their thumbs to my temples. And that was it. I collapsed. Open your eyes, Mr. Jayden. It was the voice of an old man. I opened them slowly. The first thing I saw was the sky, wide and blue, birds drifting lazily above. Waves lapped rhythmically against the shore. I sat up fast, heart pounding, my eyes scanning the unfamiliar scene. A vast ocean surrounded by limestone pebbles. No trees, no buildings, nothing but water and sky. Where the hell is this place? I muttered. How did I get here? I brought you, the voice replied again. Calm, deep, and familiar. I spun around, instinctively on edge. He was there, the same black old man I'd seen in the woods near the pack house. My wolf stiffened inside me, alert and ready. So was I. You again, I muttered. What do you want from me? He stepped forward, slow but certain. We are not happy, Mr. Jaden. Not happy about what? He stopped at a safe distance, watching me with sharp, unreadable eyes. About how your people treat our precious girl. I blinked. What precious girl? We hate it when she cries. We hate it when she's hurt, especially by you or any of your people. You've hurt her too, Jaden. But we've been patient with you because your wolf chose her. And if you, the human part of you, want to stand beside her, your heart must be empty enough for her to enter. Right now, it's not. I frowned, still lost. There's still someone else in your heart. You haven't let them go. You're in conflict. If you're not ready, stop hurting her. Don't make her cry again. If you do, there will be consequences. But if you protect her, we will protect you and your people. I could barely speak. I don't understand. Who are you people? Who is this girl you keep talking about? You know her. Katrina? He nodded. But why are you warning me? Who are you really? Because we like you, he said simply. That's why I revealed myself. To warn you before you make another mistake. I stared at him. You like me? You'll meet the others when it's time, but not now. He paused. Tell me, who is Katrina to you? I hesitated, my chest tightening. I don't know. Then figure it out, he said firmly. If you prove yourself ready, if we see you've worked for it, you'll understand everything. But for now, return. And don't tell Katrina about this. We're always watching her. Anyone who stands against her stands against us and will have to pay wholeheartedly. So be careful. I stepped forward. Wait. Before I go, I swallowed the rising tension. Did you kill Alfredo and his witch? His expression darkened. No more questions, son. Just know this. Those who try to kill our girls suffer. Pain. Death. He came closer, pressed his palm over my chest, right where my heart is, and his hand ignited. I groaned in pain, trying to wrench away, but the fire was already there, searing something deep inside. He stepped back, smiling lightly. See? Your heart still belongs to someone else, not to our girl. But if you let go of the past and open your heart to her, we'll give you a gift through her, one that will help you protect your people. I gritted my teeth, my heart still aching from the burn. Just tell me what's coming. What danger? You'll see, he said simply, and soon. Before I could respond, another set of thumbs pressed to my temples. And just like that, I woke up. In my bedroom. Not the basement. Not the sea. My room. I sat up, my heart racing, my mind spinning. Everything since Katrina arrived had felt like a nightmare stitched to reality. There was the doctor's warning. She'd seen something strange in Katrina's body. I hadn't paid enough attention. Then she healed herself. Again. And now, this. That old man, whatever he was, he had to be tied to her. Maybe even a grandfather. I dragged my hands through my hair, frustrated and confused. I got up, walked to the bathroom, and splashed cold water on my face. I caught my reflection and chuckled bitterly. I looked awful. Just as I grabbed a towel to dry my face, the doctor mind-linked me. Alpha, Katrina has had another miscarriage. I froze. Then I blocked the link. What kind of alpha am I? I couldn't even protect the woman carrying my children. Both my babies. Gone. This is my fault. I stared at my reflection again. Look at you, Jayden Evers, alpha of the Red Moon Pack. You know how to fight, how to make money. That's it. A bitter laugh escaped me. You thought you could hire a surrogate, have a son, raise him proudly? You thought you were ready to be a father? I clenched my jaw, wanting to shatter the mirror with my fist, but I didn't. It was pointless. Childish. I mind-linked Sandra. How is she? She refuses to talk to anyone, she replied. I'll be there soon. I took the elevator down. As soon as I opened the exit door, I saw Vanessa. She froze when she saw me, stumbled back, afraid. Alpha. I didn't wait. I grabbed her by the neck and lifted her effortlessly. What did you do to Katrina, you witch? Tell me before I kill you right here, I roared, feeling her tremble. She chanted something, her palms lit with fire, and my hands burned like they'd been stung with silver. I dropped her. She stood, coughing, but calm. I'll explain everything once you're calm. I paused. I almost killed her. Vanessa had always been kind, to everyone. She was like a grandmother to the entire pack. If I killed her, they'd never forgive me. Vanessa, I called as she turned to leave. She paused, looked back, her eyes red, but soft. I'm sorry for what I did. She gave me a small smile and disappeared into the house. At the hospital, I found Sandra stepping out of the room. She's awake, she said, but she's not talking. What do you mean? She's physically fine. She just refuses to speak. I nodded and walked past her into the room. Katrina lay there staring at the ceiling. She didn't notice me. I cleared my throat. She glanced at me, then turned her back. Katrina, I started but stopped myself. What was I expecting? Of course she wasn't okay. The doctor entered. I mind-linked with her. How is she? She healed herself again, she replied. I wasn't surprised. That old man must have done something. He always seemed to be watching her. The doctor hesitated. Also, Alpha, even though she healed, please give her like 2-3 weeks before you touch her again. I shot her a look. What are you implying? That I would force myself on her? No, I didn't mean… It's fine, I cut her off, sighing. I won't do anything that could harm her again. 4 days later, Katrina came back home. She hadn't spoken a word since the incident. Honestly, I was relieved. If she remembered who we truly were, if she remembered what had happened, she'd be terrified of me, of all of us. Maybe this silence was mercy. I was in my office preparing for a long meeting with the Sultan's committee. Thankfully, my face looked normal now. If Gabe saw it all bruised up, I'd never hear the end of it. About 20 minutes later, Jerome entered. They've arrived, Alpha. I stood, brushing down my jacket. Let's get this over with. I just wanted the meeting to go smoothly. No speeches about their powerful king or offers of help if I agreed to serve under him. Jerome patted my shoulder. How many times do I have to remind you, Jerome, that I'm your Alpha? I said, half joking, as we walked side by side. Jerome smirked. Forgive me, Alpha, for patting your shoulder when it's forbidden. I chuckled, shaking my head. His easy demeanor never failed to lighten the mood, even on bad days like this. We stepped into the elevator, heading up to the 3rd floor where the conference room was. As we entered the room, I immediately noticed something was off. Their Alpha? No, their so-called king wasn't there. I kept my expression neutral, even though annoyance sparked in my chest. We exchanged bows, each side offering the customary show of respect. But I wasn't in the mood for pleasantries. I was expecting to see your king, I said flatly, my voice calm but sharp. Where is he? One of their delegates stepped forward. We apologize, Alpha. The Alpha King had urgent matters to attend to. He instructed us to represent him until he arrives. I clenched my fist beneath the wide, polished table. The wood groaned faintly under the pressure of my grip. I swallowed my irritation and looked them in the eyes. Isn't that disrespectful? I asked, my voice low but unmistakably laced with warning. Their eyes widened, clearly taken aback. This meeting will not continue until he comes, I said firmly. Alpha, what you're saying is disrespectful as well, one of them countered cautiously. He sent us because… That's my final word, I cut him off sharply. Either go back and return with him, or sit here and wait until he shows up. Without another glance, I stood and strode out of the conference room, Jerome trailing close behind me. We made our way toward the elevator, but just as we reached the landing, Sandra's panicked voice came through the mind link. Alpha, Katrina, she's run away from the house. I didn't wait for an explanation. I severed the link instantly, rage and dread crashing over me in a single wave. I turned on my heel and sprinted down the stairs to the first floor, skipping entire flights as I descended. Outside, I burst through the doors and inhaled deeply, searching for her scent. There. It hit me like lightning, fresh, frantic, and fading fast. I didn't hesitate. My bones cracked and shifted into my wolf mid-run, fur tearing through skin, claws slamming into the earth, and I charged into the woods. Her scent was strong, filled with panic, and I was not going to lose her again. I dashed into the woods, blindly chasing her scent, but came to a dead stop when it vanished. Her scent stops here. My eyes scanned the trees, the ground, even the branches above, desperate for any trace of her. Nothing. She was gone. Where could she possibly be? Why did she run away? A dread bloomed in my chest. Don't tell me. Her memory wasn't erased. If that's the case, I'll never forgive myself. I'll have to live with the guilt of killing my children because of my recklessness. My heart will never recover. What should I do now? Let her go in peace or bring her back? Explain everything and tell her she's free to choose her own life? Don't even think about it, you human. She's my mate. She's not going anywhere. She stays by my side. Forever, my wolf growled. I scoffed bitterly. You agreed with me. You knew we couldn't tell her yet. You were with me when I said her memory had to be wiped. He lowered his head at my words. She must despise me, I murmured. She was so happy, so excited about becoming a mother. Even after the first miscarriage, she stayed strong. But what did I do? I destroyed her world. She must hate me with everything she has. She doesn't hate you. She doesn't know who you are, my wolf replied quietly. She's your mate, yes, but right now, she doesn't even know it. Then we go find her. She's not safe out here alone. He agreed and we turned to go, but before I could move any further, he stopped me. She didn't go forward. I'm sure she doubled back. She must have realized we'd track her scent easily. She's clever. He was right. I turned and ran back the way I'd come. When the pack house came into view, I paused, catching a fresh whiff of her scent, this time from a different direction. She went this way. I followed the trail. It led toward the highway, keeping low to avoid bystanders. I pushed ahead. Her scent grew stronger the closer I got to the road. Then, nothing. Her trail ended again. She must have taken a cab, home maybe, or the hospital, to see her brother? I quickly mind-linked Jerome. Bring me my car and some clothes. Now. If she didn't go home, I was sure she went to the hospital. Exactly, my wolf said, perking up. Jerome arrived fast. I threw on the clothes and jumped into the car. As I sped off, dark clouds began to gather overhead. No matter what happens, I told myself, I'm bringing her back to me. Say it right, my wolf snapped. She's yours, ours. I know, you beast. I chose her too, and not because of some old prophecy. I've been thinking about her every single day for the past few days. She's mine. And Sophia, he asked, are you really over her? I clenched the wheel, didn't answer. I asked you, human, are you over that viper? Can you just stop? I snapped. I told you, I made my choice. I'm going to erase Sophia from my heart. For good. But my hands were trembling. Why the fuck am I shaking? Because you're confused. Stop the damn car before you crash, he warned. I slammed the brakes and pulled over. You hear me, human? Will you stop calling me that? I snapped. I'm not human. I'm a werewolf, an alpha. Then act like one, he said coldly. You're only frustrated because you haven't fully let her go. You're trying to open your heart to Katrina, but you haven't made peace with your past. I closed my eyes, gripping the wheel until my knuckles turned white. Jaden, he said more gently this time, Katrina Evers is your mate. Our mate. She's the one who will bring you joy and give you peace of mind. But only if you let her in. Genuinely. I have, I said. Say it again. And mean it, he urged. I'm letting her in. I've chosen her. No more pushing her away. From now on, I will protect her. No more running, no more fear. I'm hers. She's mine. He smiled wolfishly. Now I believe you. The storm rolled in hard. Wind lashed at the trees as thunder cracked above. I stepped on the gas. I'm coming for you, Katrina, I whispered. You're mine and I'm yours. The rain came down in sheets as I pulled into the hospital parking lot. Damn car, no umbrella, I cursed under my breath. Still, I leapt out and bolted inside using my wolf speed. Even then, I got drenched. Inside, the hospital was quiet. Nurses looked up as I passed. A few whispered, wow, he's hot. His shirt. Look at those abs. I cursed Jerome for choosing the thinnest shirt in all the thousands of shirts I have. Focus, Jaden. As I crossed into the hallway leading to her brother's room, I caught her scent. And another. One that made my blood boil. Gabriel. What the hell is he doing here? My wolf growled. And then I saw them. Gabriel, smiling at her with that perfect fake grin. She smiled back, thanking him. A nurse stepped out. You're lucky to have such a handsome man, she told Katrina. She looked confused or taken aback. She opened her mouth to speak, but Gabriel cut in. No, nurse, I'm the lucky one. To have her as my woman. That was it. I nearly shifted right there and tore out his throat. Katrina looked shocked. Then she turned and saw me. She flinched, stepping back behind Gabriel. Don't be scared, princess. I'd never hurt you, my wolf whimpered. Gabriel knew I was there. He smelled me, but he ignored me. Well, well, he finally said, turning to face me smoothly. Jaden, I thought you had a meeting with my people? Katrina stared between us, confused. Wait, you two know each other? Something like that, Pumpkin, he said. Pumpkin? My wolf nearly broke free. Katrina, can we talk? I asked. She shook her head and bolted into her brother's room, slamming the door shut behind her. My wolf sank, wounded. You, I growled at Gabriel. Outside, now. He shrugged, still smuggling. We stepped outside the hospital, moving to the far side where no one could see or hear us. The second we were alone, I punched him. Hard. My knuckles cracked against his jaw, catching him off guard. What the hell do you think you were doing with Katrina? I snarled through gritted teeth, the urge to shift and rip him apart burning under my skin. Was that the urgent business you had to attend to? His head snapped back from the blow, but he didn't retaliate. He wiped the blood from the corner of his lip and looked at me calmly. I was on my way to your house when I saw her waving me down. She looked desperate. I don't know what happened. She didn't say. I just helped her. Oh, thank you for being a good Samaritan, Gabe. I spat, sarcasm dripping from every word. That's real fucking noble of you. For the first time in your miserable life. I stepped closer, chest heaving. Since when does Gabriel Bradley pull over for strangers? You wouldn't even help a dying man if it didn't benefit you. So cut the shit. What are you really playing at? What were you doing with her? And what the fuck was that crap you were saying back in the hospital? Pumpkin? He didn't flinch. Instead, he moved a step closer, closing the gap between us. We were the same height, same build, neither of us backing down. Ah! His eyes swept over me, a slow smirk tugging at his lips. Then he looked me dead in the eye and said, Since when was it a problem to help my mate? Say that again, I growled. She's my mate, he repeated calmly. Too calmly. Before I realized what I was doing, I had him by the collar, my fingers digging into fabric like claws. Say that again and I'll rip you in half. He shrugged off my grip and stepped back, unbothered. You're overreacting, Jayden Evers. Do you have a problem with me? Yes, I have a problem, I snapped. I don't ever want to see you near her again. Katrina is my mate, my one and only. She doesn't belong to you or anyone else. You have no right to call her yours." He chuckled, head shaking in mock amusement. "What the hell is so funny?" I demanded. He pinched the bridge of his nose, then looked up with a smirk. "This is going to be fun. I was going to reject her at first. She's too human. But now I think I'll keep her. Take her to my kingdom, mark her, mate with her, and make her Luna of the Blood Moon Pack." I saw red. I shifted instantly, snarling, massive paws hitting the ground with a bone-jarring thud. Gabe didn't hesitate. His wolf form exploded forth, tall and wild. We faced off, both of us, bark growling, fangs bared, ready to rip each other to pieces. Then a scream tore through the air. "Human!" We froze, instinctively turning toward the source. Somewhere deeper in the building, a man's terrified cry pierced the storm outside. Rain hammered the roof, masking the sound from the outside world, but we heard it loud and clear. "What do you think we should do?" I asked Gabe through the mind link. "Kill him," he answered without hesitation. "That's the only option. If we let him go, he'll run straight to the police. We'll all be hunted, prodded, dissected in some lab like freaks. That's your answer to everything? We can't just kill him. Then what? Tie him up in your basement? Mouth tape him for the rest of his life?" he scoffed. "How the hell did you become an alpha with a heart that's soft?" We shifted back into our human forms. Gabe didn't wait. He strode over to the man, who was still screaming, his eyes bulging from his skull in sheer panic. "Shut up, human! You're killing my eardrums!" Gabe barked. The man didn't stop. Gabe's tone sharpened. "I said shut up if you want to live!" The man clamped his mouth shut, shaking so hard his knees nearly gave out. Gabe grabbed him by the shoulders to steady him. "We need to get him out of here before someone else shows up," I said. "Relax," Gabe replied. "I've got this. You, go attend to my mate. Keep her company until I return." My jaw clenched. "Don't you dare call her that again." He smirked and waved me off like I was nothing. The man whimpered again, and Gabe leaned down, voice low and deadly. "If you scream again, I'll tear you apart limb from limb and feed you to the vultures." Just then, a muffled voice echoed from outside. "I thought I heard someone screaming." The human's mouth flew open in panic, but Gabe slapped a hand over it. "Hey, go," he ordered me. "Distract whoever's outside. I'll make sure this one stays quiet, forever if necessary." I hesitated. Leaving the man in Gabe's hands felt wrong, but I obeyed. I stepped out into the rain, heart heavy. Gabe was ruthless, merciless to humans, and even worse toward his own pack. His coldness was legendary. I'd seen women running from him when I visited his pack, some hiding, some weeping. They whispered that they pitied the poor girl destined to be his mate. "Alpha Jayden," he called after me, just as I reached the door. I turned. "This isn't your territory. Walk around naked like that again, and the nurses might rape you." He chuckled. "I'm done with your bullshit," I muttered, storming out without another word. The rain poured harder. I slipped into my car, threw on a pair of jeans and a shirt, and returned to the hospital. Inside, a woman stood near the security desk, reporting that she'd heard a scream. I walked past her quickly. Gabe had already handled it, whatever handling meant to him. I made my way to the patient room where Katrina's brother is. I paused at the door and knocked. Her grandmother answered with a faint smile. "I'm sorry if you came to see Katrina," she said gently. "She left a while ago." "Where did she go?" "It's pouring heavily outside," I asked, frowning. "She was here earlier when I came by. She said she wasn't feeling well. She went home." That didn't sit right with me. My instincts flared. Had Katrina told her what happened? Was she covering for her? "Could you give me her home address? I need to speak to her. It's urgent." She eyed me carefully. "Is something wrong at work? Did something happen?" No. I mean, yes, there's a problem, but it wasn't her fault. Someone framed her." I have proof she's innocent, and I need to give it to her personally. A lie, but it worked. All right, son, give me a minute. As she disappeared into the room, my wolf stirred. This is our chance. Take her back, whether she likes it or not. Shut up, I snapped, blocking him out. When she returned with a slip of paper, I almost sighed in relief. But she hesitated. Before I give this to you, would you tell me what exactly happened? I paused, searching for the right lie. If she didn't tell you herself, it's because she's not ready. Or maybe she just didn't want to worry you. You might be right, she said, looking me over. But you don't look like a coworker. Are you her boss? No, we're coworkers. And what kind of job does she do? She never told me. God, grant me patience. We work in, clothing, retail, I added quickly. She seemed unconvinced, but handed me the address anyway. Thank you for being a good colleague. I smiled, trying to be polite. How's her brother? He's doing much better. He'll be discharged soon. I'll be staying with him at my place. They don't live together, I wondered. Katrina might not come back to the hospital. I'll drive her to the office to sort things out before it gets dark, I said. Okay, son. Just tell her to call me once it's all cleared. I will, I promised, then turned and left. The neighborhood was quiet, too quiet. The storm had driven everyone indoors. I parked, crossed the street, and approached the house. My heartbeat thudded as I knocked. The door creaked open. When she saw me, her eyes went wide, shock, fear, and something else flashing across her face. Jaden, what are you doing here? How did you? I stepped inside before she could finish, closed the door behind me. Katrina, we need to talk. I know what you saw. I know your memory wasn't erased. She stared at me, frozen. Then suddenly, she bolted past me and grabbed the landline. I'm calling the police. If you don't leave, right now. I'm not here to hurt you, I said. I just want you to. She dialed. I lunged, yanked the phone from her hands, and smashed it against the floor. The crash echoed through the room like a gunshot. She stared at the shattered plastic, then up at me with wide, terrified eyes. I said I won't hurt you, I snapped, harsher than I meant to. Just sit down. We need to talk.
Katrina's point of view.
I was stunned to find Jaden standing outside my house, soaked in the rain. How did you know where? Before I could finish, he pushed past me and shut the door behind him. My legs trembled as he stood inches from me, his presence overpowering. Katrina, we need to talk about what you saw, he said firmly. I struggled to steady my breathing. How did you even find out where I live? Everything about him felt foreign now, after witnessing him transform, shift into a massive wolf. He was no longer the Jaden I thought I knew. My instincts screamed that I had to get away before he changed again and killed me. Without warning, I bolted past him and grabbed the landline. I'm calling the police if you don't leave my house right now. I'm not going to hurt you, Katrina, he said, trying to stay calm. I just want you to hear me out. Is he serious? He expects me to just sit here and listen to a man who turns into a wild animal? In every supernatural book I've read so far, humans who uncover their secret always end up dead. I wasn't about to be that stupid. With shaky fingers, I dialed 911, but in a blur, he was in front of me, snapping the phone from my hand and crushing it. I said I'm not going to hurt you. I just want to talk. His voice rose, but I could see he was trying to stay in control. My heart pounded as my body froze. This version of him, cold, intense, and raw, was unlike anything I'd seen. He noticed my fear and softened. I know you're scared, I understand. This is your first time, and for a human it's normal. But I swear to you, I won't hurt you. Please, just sit down. Ask me anything. Reluctantly, I nodded toward the dining table near the kitchen. Sit there, please. He didn't argue. He just walked over and sat. I'm seated, just like you asked, he said. Satisfied? I nodded again. Katrina Evers, he began. It's true. I'm a werewolf. Everyone in my house is. They're my people, my pack, and they are all under me. He paused, watching my reaction. We don't allow humans in our house, ever. My eyes narrowed. You do realize I'm human, right? Yes, but you're not just any human, you're special to us. His words only confused me more. You're my mate, Katrina. Our mate. Mate? My mind flashed back to when Aaliyah asked if I was their alpha's mate. It hadn't made sense then, but it was starting to click now. Still, I didn't fully understand. What does that mean? Mate. Why are you calling me that? It means you're my soulmate. My other half. Every werewolf has a destined mate. Some haven't found theirs yet. The moment you stepped out of the cab, we all smelled it. You were mine. His voice softened. I rejected the bond at first. I tried to push you away by being cruel. But a few days ago, I realized I couldn't fight it anymore. Do you remember when you said you didn't know how to explain what you were feeling toward me? I nodded slowly. That was the mate bond. We both felt it, but neither of us wanted to admit it. Then why did you reject me? I asked, pain creeping into my voice. It's complicated. I can't tell you everything yet, but I promise, with time, you'll know. I was quiet, my mind spinning. Then a thought hit me. Did you sleep with me because I was your mate? Or was it just something you do with all your surrogates? He looked straight at me. I never planned to sleep with any surrogate, but when my wolf recognized you, everything changed. He pushed me, and I gave in willingly. He wanted to mark you, to keep you from running. I stared at him. So what do you want from me now? He stood slowly and stepped toward me. I stood too, ready to bolt. But as if reading my thoughts, he stopped. Being my mate doesn't mean I want to hurt you. I want you near me without fear. It hurts to see you terrified of me. Who are you with? I asked quietly. There's someone else, isn't there? Yes, the one you're most scared of. Who? My wolf, he said. He's me, and I'm him. We're one. Are you saying he wants to come out now? He does. He wants to see you, feel your touch. No, I blurted, and he looked shocked for a second. I mean, I'm not ready, I stammered. Jaden nodded, understanding. Then come back with me, to the pack house. Live with me, not as my surrogate, but as my mate. He stepped close and cupped my cheeks, his hands warm against my skin. I didn't flinch. His closeness sent tingling down my spine. For a moment, it felt like the world had disappeared around us. Do you feel it too? I whispered. I feel everything, Katrina. We're connected. Mates can hear each other's thoughts. If you think about something openly, I can hear it. Seriously? I said, flushing. He smiled, then leaned down and kissed me, tenderly, reverently. I melted into it before pulling away, my cheeks burning. Jaden, this is all too much. I need time. I'll give you all the time you need. But at the pack house, not here. I already spoke to your grandmother. Told her you were framed at work and I had proof. I said I'd drive you back. My jaw dropped. You lied to her? He nodded. I had no other choice. I needed to find you. You tricked her into giving you my address, I muttered. I had no other option other than lying. I shook my head in disbelief. You're full of surprises. I'm sorry, but I couldn't just let you go. We stood there, the air thick between us. Is that your mother in the photo? He asked, pointing. I nodded. That's her. She was beautiful, like you. Do we look alike? I asked with a small smile. I said she's beautiful like you. I didn't say you look alike, he teased. I deflated. Even you think I don't look like her. Even me, what? Forget it, I said quickly, my voice cracking. He stepped close again and gently took my hand. Did I say something wrong? I just don't want to talk about it, I said, pulling away. I distracted my emotions with a glass of water. I'm sorry for snapping, I'm just afraid. If I open up, you might hate me like everyone else. He stood tall beside me, his voice soft. I will never hate you, ever. Tears slipped down my cheeks. No one had ever said that to me before. "I'm here now," he whispered. "I'll always be here." I smiled, brushing away the tears. "You're unreal." He smiled back. "You're mine, Katrina, and I'm yours." Before I could respond, a thought popped into my head, and I regretted it instantly. He chuckled. "Did you just say you want to devour me in your bed?" My eyes widened. "You heard that? I told you, be careful what you think around me." I blushed as he tucked his hair back from his face. "Jaden," I said, trying to change the subject. "At the hospital, you and Gabriel, it seemed like you knew each other." His face darkened. "How do you know his name?" "Relax," I said. "He told me. He seemed nice. I liked him." Jaden's jaw clenched. "Katrina, stay away from him. He's dangerous. He's not what he seems." "He didn't seem dangerous to me," I said. "He's a lunatic." "Is he a werewolf too?" I asked. "You're both tall, strong, and yes, handsome." "Don't compare me to that lunatic," he growled, his voice low and sharp. "Why do you hate him?" Before he could answer, the doorbell rang, once, then again and again. "Who could that be?" I murmured, walking toward the door with Jaden on my heels. I opened it and froze. "Hello, Pumpkin. We met again." "Mr. Gabriel." I stared at the man standing at my doorstep, drenched in rain. "What are you doing at my house? How do you even know where I live?" Before he could respond, Jaden's arm shot out protectively, pulling me behind him. His body stiffened like a wall between us. "Did you give him your address?" Jaden asked, eyes never leaving Gabriel. His voice was hard, almost threatening. I didn't answer. I tried stepping around Jaden, but he gently pushed me back behind him again. "Jaden, why are you shielding me like that?" I huffed, peeking past his shoulder. Gabriel smirked. "He thinks I'm going to gobble you up." I arched my brow, confused and increasingly uncomfortable. "That doesn't answer how you know where I live." "He knows," Gabriel said, locking eyes with Jaden. "Exactly how I found you." Jaden's jaw clenched so tightly I could see the tension in his temple. "What are you doing here, Gabe?" he gritted out. "I came to see my mate," Gabriel said smoothly, "and take her back to my world." Jaden growled low in his throat. "Don't start." "Mate?" I cut in, my voice rising. "Who's your mate?" Gabriel didn't look at me. His gaze stayed glued to Jaden like they were locked in some silent war. "Pumpkin?" he finally said, turning to me. "Aren't you going to invite me in? This weather's horrible. I might catch hypothermia." I narrowed my eyes. Was he faking? He did look cold, but something about him was always off, mysterious, dangerous. Jaden scoffed beside me. "Don't let him in." But I sighed. "Yeah, it is cold outside. Come in, just for a moment." "No," Jaden growled. Gabriel ignored him, brushing past with a smirk, shoulders bumping lightly. I stumbled back, surprised. Jaden gripped Gabriel's arm, but Gabriel shook him off and turned his full attention to me. "I'm sorry for coming unannounced," he said, "but I couldn't wait another second after I found you." "I'd prefer if you stopped calling me Pumpkin," I muttered. "Never going to happen," he said with a crooked smile. "You're my sweet pumpkin, the one I've waited 30 years for." I blinked, baffled. "What nonsense are you talking about?" Jaden was dead silent. I glanced at him, but he didn't meet my eyes. A chill slid down my spine. "Mr. Gabriel, I appreciate what you did for me, truly. But this?" I gestured around. "Showing up at my house out of nowhere when I never gave you my address? That's creepy." "It's not creepy. I told you, Jaden knows how I found you." I turned sharply toward Jaden. "Did you give him my address?" Jaden's lips parted, but he cut himself off. "I didn't. You wouldn't understand, Katrina, because you're human." I stared at him. That sudden shift in tone, it was cold, distant, and somehow hurtful. "Don't mind him, Pumpkin," Gabriel said quickly. "He's jealous. But I'm here to take you where you belong, my kingdom." I opened my mouth to speak, but a loud crack like breaking twigs or bones jolted me. I froze. That sound, it didn't belong inside a house, and I didn't own a single indoor plant. My eyes widened when I turned and found myself staring into the glowing eyes of a massive gray wolf, its gaze locked on mine, intense and unwavering. I'm going to kill this bastard so he never calls you pumpkin again. Jaden's voice thundered inside my head. I spun around, only to find a second wolf, jet black, closing in. Its eyes flared like burning embers and then shifted to Gabriel. I was trapped between them. My breath hitched. My legs wouldn't move. These weren't ordinary wolves. They were monstrous, massive, at least 4 times the size of any wolf I'd seen before. I darted frantic eyes between them. My sweet pumpkin. Gabriel's voice echoed in my head now. The gray wolf lowered its head and gently nudged me toward the couch out of harm's way. Don't be afraid, it ends here. Jaden's voice again, inside me. I gasped. This was the same wolf from my dream. It lunged. I screamed as the 2 beasts collided with terrifying force. Snarls and growls ripped through the air like thunder. They crashed into furniture, shattered picture frames, and splintered walls. My home, my sanctuary, was being torn apart by 2 supernatural creatures. I crumpled on the couch, hands over my ears, watching through horrified eyes. The sound, the violence, it was too much. My head spun. The air felt thin. Stop! I screamed at the top of my lungs. Please, just stop! Silence fell. Their heavy, ragged breaths filled the room. Please, I sobbed, not in my mother's house. Another crack. That horrible bone-breaking sound again. It's okay, Pumpkin, Gabriel said, now back in human form. We're sorry. We didn't mean to frighten you, but someone couldn't handle the truth. That you're mine too. I opened my eyes and screamed again. Why are you both naked? Our clothes are ruined, they said in unison. What do you mean ruined? I cried. You were just wearing them. What kind of wild wolves tear off their own pants? Gabriel chuckled. We're not wild animals, Pumpkin. Whatever you are, put something on before I lose my mind, I yelled, eyes tightly shut. Jaden cleared his throat. My clothes are in the car. Could you get them for me? And mine too, Pumpkin, Gabriel chimed in cheerfully. I stood cautiously, keeping my eyes off them. I opened my eyes and nearly collapsed. The house was wrecked. Everything was broken. Even the walls had cracks that hadn't been there before. I'm so sorry, Katrina, Jaden said softly. You shouldn't have seen that. My eyes dropped to the blood smeared across his chest and shoulder. Jaden, you're bleeding. It's nothing. Already healed. That made no sense. My gaze flicked to Gabriel. He had a gash across his cheek and blood streaked his arm. I was trying not to let my eyes drift lower when Gabriel teased, It's okay, Pumpkin. You can look. I'm all yours anyway. Katrina, we need to talk, Jaden cut in, serious now. And don't forget, we still have a contract. Gabriel narrowed his eyes. What contract? None of your business, Gabe, Jaden growled. Just leave before I finish what I started. No more fighting, I cried. Not in my mother's house. Just then, the doorbell rang. We all froze. 1 ring. 2 more. I padded nervously to the door and cracked it open. 2 police officers. Miss Katrina, one said. We received a call from your neighbor. They reported hearing a scream, and what sounded like a dog growling. My stomach flipped. A dog? Officer, I don't even own a dog. That must be a mistake. This is the address we were given. We'll need to come inside to check things out. No, I mean, there's nothing wrong, I said, forcing a shaky smile. Everything's under control. They didn't look convinced. Ma'am, we can't leave until we inspect the property. She told you everything is fine, a deep voice interrupted. Gabriel stepped beside me, completely naked, towering over the officers. I nearly passed out. We were just enjoying the weather, he added with a devilish grin.
Jaden's point of view.
You've got to be kidding me. What the hell does he think he's doing? Exposing himself to the cops like that, I muttered, unable to believe Gabriel's recklessness. Try not at all. I knew Gabe was unhinged, but this was next level. From where I stood, I could see the officer's wide-eyed expressions, frozen, confused. Werewolves being half naked was normal in our world, but to humans, startling, alarming. Were you kids playing mature games? One of the officers asked, skeptical. Officers, Katrina whispered, shouted, her voice tight with embarrassment. Don't jump to conclusions. A small smile pulled at my lips when I saw her, flustered, furious, trying to salvage the situation. But the officer wouldn't let it go. So you're saying you weren't doing what it looks like you did? Then we'll need to enter and confirm there's no disturbance inside. Just protocol, ma'am. Before Katrina could respond, Gabriel, still stark naked, smirked and said, No need for all the questions, officers. What are you thinking? You're right. We were doing exactly that. You just interrupted, and we'd like to resume. So if you'd kindly leave. Katrina gasped, trailing her eyes down to the obvious evidence of his arousal. Christ, I growled under my breath. What the hell is wrong with him? Katrina looked mortified. She slammed the door shut with a bang and pressed her forehead against it. I'm so sorry, officers, she called out, her voice cracking. Everything's fine in here. There was a pause, then one of the cops chuckled. Got it, miss. Just keep it down, all right? Their retreating footsteps faded. Silence returned, briefly. Then Katrina turned, face contorted in fury. She marched over to Gabe and, without warning, slapped him. Hard. The sound echoed. I cringed. My reflexes kicked in as I stepped between them, shielding her. I'd seen what Gabriel did to people who disrespected him, especially women, and I wasn't going to let that happen. Not to her. But instead of rage, Gabriel smiled, softly. Wow, pumpkin, he said, brushing his cheek where the slap landed. That felt good. I usually don't tolerate sass, but it's different with you. You're not just any woman. You're my mate. So I forgive you. Then he turned to me. There was no need to shield her, Jaden. I'd never hurt her, ever. I shot him a glare, baffled. You're insane, I muttered. You seriously need a therapist. Behind me, Katrina's voice quivered. Mr. Gabriel, please leave my house. I never want to see you again. I almost celebrated out loud seeing how her words struck him. His jaw twitched. He tried to hide the sting. Please, she said again, respectfully, leave. She stepped forward, voice rising. You keep calling me your mate, but we don't know each other. I am not your mate, and it was incredibly disrespectful of you to stand naked in my doorway, especially in front of the officers. Do you know what they'll tell the neighborhood now? That I was in the middle of the act with you. They already hate me. Now you've just given them more reasons. There was so much hurt in her voice. It tore through me. What did she mean? The whole neighborhood hated her? Why? I glanced at Gabriel. His expression was unreadable, but his eyes, they softened. He heard the pain too. There was something deeper here, something she hadn't told either of us, and never want to say yet. You heard her, I mind-linked him. Leave. He hesitated. Then with a sigh, he looked at her. Okay, pumpkin. I'll go, if that's what you want. I'm sorry for making things harder, but I won't lie and say I'll give you time. I'm not a patient man, but what I know, you'll fall for me, just like you did with Jaden. I turned sharply to Katrina. She looked down, face flushed, embarrassed. Still, damn, I loved when she blushed. Gabriel met my eyes. His voice came through the mind link. We'll be seeing each other often, Jayden Evers. I don't care if she's already yours. She's mine now, and I'll make sure she stays that way. Don't forget, we've got a meeting at your house later. And with that, he walked out, still naked and unbothered. I clenched my fists. The idea of Gabriel being bonded to my mate, it rattled me. I rejected her once, my biggest regret. But now that she's here, with me, I'll protect her from everything, including him. Jaden? Katrina's voice pulled me back. Why is he calling me his mate? He's just being ridiculous, I said. You too, she whispered. You called me my mate. Me too, what? I feigned ignorance. Gabriel's delusional. Don't pay attention to what he says. But Jayden, she looked up at me. You told me once. Mates can hear each other's thoughts, right? I nodded slowly. Then why could I hear both your voices in my head when your wolves came out? What does that mean? I didn't answer immediately. My throat felt dry. I'll explain everything once we're at the pack house, I finally said. We need to leave. Now. Gabe might return, and I don't trust what he'll do if he comes back. He'd do anything just to take you with him. Let's head back to the pack house, I said. She blinked. Pack house? Why do you call your mansion that? I'll answer all your questions, I promise. Just not here. She looked around the wrecked house. I can't leave it like this. I'll call a cleaning service. I'm sorry we trashed your home. No, I have to be here when they clean. There's no time. They'll send pictures of the finished job to your phone if you insist. I don't have a phone, she said. It must have fallen when I was abducted, she said quietly. Then they can send it to mine. She hesitated, then nodded. Okay. Let me just grab some things. And please, put on some clothes. You make me uncomfortable. All right, I smiled and moved to leave. Hold on, she said, halting me. Where did you park your car? I'll grab them for you. I told her, and in a few minutes, she returned with my clothes. I changed quickly. She clutched a family photo close as she emerged from one of the rooms. A small backpack slung over her shoulder. Outside, I noticed neighbors peeking from windows. Their judgmental stares felt like daggers. I stepped in front of Katrina instinctively, shielding her from their gaze. Had the cops already spread gossip? I opened the car door for her and told her to turn on the radio. Something fun to distract her. As I drove off, I caught a glimpse in the mirror. People were pouring out of their homes, whispering. She kept flipping radio channels, growing frustrated. Why'd you turn it off? I asked. There's nothing fun right now, she said quietly, staring out the window. What's on your mind? I asked, really concerned. Nothing. Come on, Katrina. You're clearly thinking. She exhaled deeply. I was just wondering what life would have been like if my mom were still alive. Maybe things would be different. Maybe I wouldn't feel like hiding every time people stare at me. I gripped the wheel tighter. Jayden, did you know that sometimes just a person's gaze can hurt? What are you talking about? I asked gently. If something's weighing you down, tell me. I'll carry it with you. That's what scares me, she whispered. If I tell you, you might hate me and leave too. I looked over at her. Her eyes shimmered with unshed tears. Before I could respond, she screamed, Jayden, watch out! My eyes snapped back to the road. 7 rogues, wolves in full form, stood in the middle of the highway. I slammed the brakes. The tires screeched, the car jolted, and the rogues attacked, pushing us off the road into the woods. The car spiraled out of control, flipping and crashing downhill. Katrina screamed. My heart thundered. Please, anything but her. Please, God, not her. The car finally crashed against a large boulder. Smoke hissed from the engine. Gasoline. I turned, desperate. Katrina! She was unconscious. Blood streaked her face. My world stopped.
Katrina's point of view.
Open your eyes, girl. The whisper in my ear was as sharp as it was surreal. My eyes fluttered open and a wave of pain rolled through my body. Every inch of me ached, throbbing with fresh wounds. When the car rolled downhill, I was thrown into the back seat by the impact. This might be the second worst death scenario I've lived through. My hands were covered in gashes, skin torn from the jagged branches we'd slammed into. Even lifting them hurt like hell. Where's Jayden? I muttered, squinting through the broken glass and crumpled metal. I dragged myself up and peered out, searching the woods. No sign of him. Had he been pulled from the car mid-crash? Was he tangled in the branches? My chest tightened at the thought. Pushing through the pain, I crawled out of the wreck, putting as much distance between me and the smoking car as I could manage. Moments later, the vehicle exploded in a burst of flames. I stared, dazed, heart pounding in my chest. Then, out of nowhere, Jaden. He rushed toward me, completely naked, panic etched into every line of his face. He dropped to his knees, inspecting me like I was the most fragile thing on earth. "I'm fine," I murmured and threw my arms around him, not caring that he was completely bare. I needed to know he was alive. His hands brushed over my skin, checking for injuries. "Don't touch me like that," I winced. "My hands are wrecked." It was my fault. I wanted the breeze and refused to close the window. The forest had taken its revenge. "Can you move?" he asked. "I think so." "Good. I'm going to shift, and I need you to hop on and hold tight." "Wait, you want me to ride your werewolves back?" I blinked at him. "Like, ride it?" He nodded solemnly. "Do I look like someone who rides massive wild animals?" I scoffed. "This is the only way I can get you to safety," he said gently. "The car's gone, and please stop calling him a wild animal. He's not. None of us is. We're not monsters. We don't roam the woods hunting innocent lives. He feels hurt when you say that." I swallowed the guilt and nodded. "Okay, fine." What happened next? Well, let's just say my eyes nearly fell out of my skull. Jaden's bones cracked, contorted, and shifted. His body morphed into a creature of legend, massive, majestic, terrifyingly beautiful. His thick gray fur glistened under the broken sunlight, and those amber eyes, they saw right through me. He was colossal. I felt like a doll standing in front of him. Was I dreaming? Back home, I never got a good look at his wolf form, but now, this was the most beautiful creature I'd ever seen. Trembling, I reached out to touch him, only to flinch when pain shot through my arm. His wolf tensed and stepped back. "Let me heal you, my love." Jaden's voice echoed in my head as the wolf lowered its head and gently licked my face. "Ugh, that's gross," I grimaced internally. He pulled away, and I swore I saw pain flash in its eyes. "I didn't mean it," I whispered. "I'm sorry." He licked my hands next, licked the blood away like it meant something more. It was disgusting and tender all at once, and I didn't dare say another word. "Now you're free to touch me, my mate," he said. Tentatively, I reached out again, this time with no pain. I gasped in disbelief. How did you do that? Is it magic?" Jaden didn't answer. Instead, his wolf lowered, signaling me to climb onto his back. I hesitated only for a moment, then gripped his soft, warm fur and hoisted myself up. Before I could settle, a deep, bone-chilling growl echoed through the trees. "Stay here, my love. Don't move an inch, and close your eyes." I turned my head and froze. Two massive wolves, their teeth bared and saliva dripping from their snarling mouths, stepped into view. Jaden lunged before I could blink, colliding with the beast in a blur of fur and fury. I watched in horror as he tore through them effortlessly, leaving carnage in his wake. My legs gave out, trembling as fear crept through me. "Stop shaking," I scolded myself. "Jaden said they can't hurt us." "That's right, my love. We will never hurt you." I looked up and gasped. Jaden's wolf was back, its mouth stained with blood. "I told you to close your eyes," he scolded gently, "but you never listen." He stepped closer. "You're mine now, forever. You'll get used to this, eventually, I promise." I nodded numbly and let him help me up. "Okay." With his help, I climbed onto his back again, gripping tight. "Relax," he whispered. "Hold on tight, my love." I closed my eyes, letting the cool wind kiss my face as he sprinted through the forest. Despite everything, I felt safe. "Hop off, my love. We're here." "Already?" I asked, sliding off his back. "Yes, did you enjoy the ride?" Jaden's voice returned, smooth and amused. "Honestly, I did. Your wolf's fur is softer than my bed." "He's happy to know that," Jaden said. "I need to get cleaned up," I mumbled. Before I could leave, Sandra hurled herself at me, catching me off guard. Welcome back, girlfriend. I thought I'd lost you forever. She's my girlfriend, Jaden grumbled behind her. I rolled my eyes. I'm fine, but I need a minute to breathe. Sandra backed away. Of course, I understand. I'm not sure how I feel about being back here, honestly, I admitted. I need some space, some time. Please don't take it personally. I'm still adjusting. Totally fair, she nodded. Take all the time you need. But are you okay? You're covered in blood. We were in an accident. Jaden's wild animal healed me. Wild animal, she whispered, frowning. I told you not to call me that, Jaden snapped. I turned. He was already naked. Again. I blushed furiously and bolted for the stairs. I'm going to my room. The hallway was silent. Everyone was staring at me. I froze, ready to turn and run, until Jaden appeared beside me, wrapping a protective arm around my shoulders. What are you all doing? Why are you staring at her? He asked calmly. We were just worried, Alpha. My heart skipped. They were worried about me? Jaden ushered them away, then guided me gently into the elevator. His touch was so comforting. As we reached the floor, I pulled away. I'm going to my room. That's not your room anymore. What? It's ours now. He opened the door to his bedroom. Your things are already inside. What do you mean, ours? Without asking me? You're my mate, Katrina. Mates share everything, including a bed. He disappeared into his closet, and I stood stunned before walking into the bathroom. I was halfway through undressing when I remembered. The bleeding and no pads. Wrapped in a towel, I peeked into the closet. He was gone. I needed his phone. But maybe... Didn't he say we could talk through our minds? I closed my eyes, concentrated, and cleared my throat. Jaden, I need your phone. Or maybe just ask Sandra if she has extra pads. Please? I waited, hoping he'd respond with something, anything, even a simple okay, but there was nothing. I repeated the same line in my mind, a little louder this time. Still nothing. Clearing my throat, I tried again. Jaden, my mate, my love, my hot boyfriend. Do you hear me or not? Silence. I snorted. Was he lying when he said mates could talk through their minds? Was the whole thing just some twisted joke? Was he playing me for a fool? Calm down, Katrina. Maybe he's not answering because he's busy, or because he's acting like a dick again. That wouldn't exactly be a shock. Still, I probably shouldn't be jumping to conclusions. Even if he was being an ass, I needed to be careful. His animal side wasn't something to mess with. I'd seen what it could do, what he could do. That brutal scene in the woods was still etched into my memory, like a nightmare I couldn't wake up from. God, I didn't even want to think about it. Okay, so maybe he lied. Maybe I'm not his mate. Maybe he just wanted me in his room so he could monitor me until I healed. Or worse. Maybe he wants to jump me the second I'm back to full strength and get me pregnant again. I groaned softly and leaned against the bathroom wall, dragging a hand down my face. I can't believe I fell for this. For him. Was this some twisted strategy? Did he lie just to keep me close because he thought I wanted him? That I loved him? No, that couldn't be it. I never told anyone that. Not even Gabriel. Wait, did Gabriel say something? Did he tell Jaden that I have feelings for him? No, I doubt it. Gabriel and Jaden aren't exactly best friends swapping heart-to-hearts over coffee. They don't even like each other that much. So what then? Maybe Jaden saw it. Maybe he noticed how I react whenever he looks at me, how I get invisible goosebumps just from the way he says my name. How my stupid heart races the second those blue eyes find mine. Ugh, I scoffed under my breath, pushing the thought away. Mates, my foot. I pulled on a striped tank dress and stomped to the door, only to hear a knock. It's Sandra. Thank God, I was just about to come find you. She held up a handful of pads. How did you know? Her face turned red. I shouldn't say. Say it. She exhaled. When you used the mind link, the Alpha had an open channel with the whole pack. I blinked. Wait, are you saying... You all heard me. Every word, from my hot boyfriend to everything else. I wanted the ground to swallow me. I stared at Sandra wide-eyed, stunned by what she just said, and then I burst out laughing. "Why are you laughing?" she asked, a soft chuckle escaping her lips. "Because, Sandra," I said, still giggling, "what you just said is hilarious. Jaden never told me that everyone in this house could communicate through their minds. And even if that's true, he would have replied to me, or at least given me a sign. But he didn't. He would have..." I stopped rambling when I noticed the serious look on her face. "Katrina," she said gently, "Alpha didn't tell you everything about us." My smile faded. "Wait, are you saying it's true?" She nodded solemnly. "Does that mean everyone heard what I said, everything I was babbling?" She nodded again. "Like, everything?" I asked in a whisper. Another nod. I groaned, mortified, my face heated with shame. "Sandra," I muttered. "If Jaden didn't say anything on purpose, you could have at least warned me. Now how am I supposed to face him?" My voice dropped to a whisper. Oh God, he would have killed me if I'd mentioned the surrogacy stuff. I rubbed my temples. "Anyway, thanks for the info. I need a shower." I spun around and slammed the bathroom door behind me. "Katrina, wait, before you go." I paused and opened the door again, trying to appear calm. "What is it, Sandra?" "Before Alpha blocked the link, I heard you say the name Gabriel," she said, almost whispering. "Do you know him?" I nodded once. Her eyes widened. "Katrina, do you know who he is?" "Sandra, please," I sighed. "Let me shower before you start lecturing me about Gabriel." I shut the door again, locked it, and headed into the bathroom. Do I know Gabriel? Yeah, I do, a little. I know he's a werewolf, just like all of them. But I still have questions. What if I am his mate too? If that's true, I'm going to lose my mind. This werewolf community is driving me insane. Should I buy a book on them? Or just Google it and pray I find something that'll help me survive whatever craziness comes next? I stepped into the shower, letting the warm water wash away some of the stress. Afterward, I dried off, patted myself. Thank God the bleeding was lighter now, and moisturized my body. Standing in front of the closet, I mulled over what to wear. Black jeans, black tank top. Yes, a good choice, Katrina. I slipped into the jeans and stood in front of the full-length mirror. My fingers brushed against my stomach. Was I dreaming too big, hoping for too much? Nothing in my life had ever gone right. I had already survived so much growing up. Didn't I deserve even a little happiness? Just a chance to become a mother? I never even got to know their genders. Were they boys, girls, one of each? Was this my fault? Did I kill them? If I had stayed home like Jaden said, if I hadn't gone to see my brother, would they still be in my womb? But my brother needed me. He's the only family I have. I couldn't ignore him just because I was pregnant. My babies, you left me. Right? I whispered. Please forgive me. I tilted my head back to stop the tears, but they still slipped free. I reached for my bra just as someone knocked on the door. Great. Who now? Sandra again? Did she come back to interrogate me about Gabriel? The knocking continued, insistent and impatient. I hurried to put on my bra and yank on the tank top. If you can't wait, just knock down the door and come in with it, I grumbled as I unlocked it. Still fixing my top, I opened the door, already annoyed. What is it, Sen? My words froze in my throat. Jaden. My heart did a backflip. Jaden? I blinked. What are you doing here? I immediately regretted the question. Sorry. He raised a brow. Why would I eliminate my door? Kill me now. I thought it was Sandra, I mumbled, refusing to meet his eyes. Did you do something wrong? He asked. Is that why you're avoiding my gaze? I tried to move away, but he gently grabbed my hand. Don't run, he said softly. Is that your new habit now, running and locking yourself away? Why is he making it so hard to just breathe? I wasn't running, I protested. I was just... Let's talk, he said, guiding me into the bedroom and locking the door behind him. I bought you a new phone, he said, handing me his own. You can use mine until it arrives. Why did you buy me a phone? I didn't ask for one. I had to? You didn't have to, Jaden. I have my own money. I was going to buy one tomorrow. I cleared my throat. Is this about what I said earlier? Did you hear me? Let's leave that aside, he said quickly. Are you hungry? No. You haven't eaten all day. It's getting late. I lost my appetite. His eyes narrowed. You can't starve yourself just because you lost your appetite. Seriously, Jaden? I snapped. How can you talk to me like that? I lost my babies 4 days ago in 1 day. And just because I'm acting strong doesn't mean I'm not broken inside. My voice trembled. You'll never understand. You're not a woman. You'll never know what it feels like to lose something that was growing inside of you. But those babies were ours. You were their father. His expression softened, pain flashing through his blue eyes. He reached out and gently turned me to face him. Katrina, he said quietly, don't ever say that again. You're right, I'm not a woman, and I'll never know how it feels to miscarry. But I was their father, just as you said. I wanted them more than anything. He looked down, then back at me with quiet intensity. I'm an alpha. I have thousands depending on me. I have to be strong for them, for you. But I'm hurting too. He took a long breath. Maybe it just wasn't the right time. Maybe they weren't ready to come to us yet. I pulled away from his hands and sat on the bed. No, I said, shaking my head. I think it's a sign that I need to leave this house. He sat beside me, confused. What are you talking about? I was so blinded by happiness when you said I could be in their lives. I forgot who I am. But the miscarriages, they were a wake-up call. I turned to him, heart aching. Jaden, I don't belong here. The longer I stay, the more danger I bring. I've already caused too much pain. People are dying, and I can't keep watching it happen because of me. I love you, but I have to go. His face darkened. Be specific, Katrina. What do you mean people are dying because of you? I hesitated. Don't tell me you haven't noticed. One of the older women, Vivian, right? She died. Isn't that what you were talking about earlier downstairs with the others? His eyes widened. He went silent. A chill ran down my spine. I'm right, aren't I? Katrina, he whispered. How did you know? Was it Sandra? No. Then who? How? I restricted everyone from telling you. I met his eyes. I just knew. I'm not letting you leave, he said firmly. Yes, Vivian died, but she deserved it. You are my mate. You're meant to stay beside me. Nothing is going to take you away from me. His words made my chest tighten, but I couldn't give in. Don't talk like that, Jaden. You don't understand. No, I do understand, he said, stepping closer. I do know. I know that whoever hurts you, truly hurts you, dies.
Walk alone in the pouring rain, trying to drown out all this pain. Every step is like a heavy stone. A shadow falls, but I'm all alone. Let the rain wash away my pain. Take these tears, let them fade. In the storm I'll find my way, but tonight just let me